Okay, it's mindset reset week, and I have to tell you, I love this one.
Me too.
I needed this so bad, I can't even tell you.
Yeah, it's
Um,
definitely affected us a little bit too.
because I don't think that um I don't think that people realize uh how yes, everybody probably thought that, oh, like the pandemic was great for authors because like we're already home anyway, and this is so perfect because now we just get to like lean into it. And for some authors, it was, because they didn't have to go off to like authors who have a day job still didn't have to go off to their day job. But for those of us who were home and it changed our whole routine,
Yeah.
it was a nightmare. So a lot of us are still like clawing our way back from burnout, and that's why these mindset reset weeks make me so happy. I really think that they have been that I have been getting better every month because of this. Like it's a crawl, but like I mean, I've definitely seen improvement. So let's
I
talk.
think for us, it gives us the mindset reset too when we're producing these things because we're thinking about what to do, and then we're like, well, actually, I've been struggling with this, and that's how we come up with these things. Do you
Exactly.
think?
And a big one for us has been the motivation. Like, not that we we're creators. We love creating everything for the authors. We love making all this stuff. But um our problem has been historically with sharing it the way it needs to be shared. Like it doesn't help if we only have a couple of people that know about it. You know what I mean? Like if we have like our little, we're now putting it out into the world. And so this is what the motivation part did for me. It was definitely helping like with our overall bigger plans because it is definitely a guide to getting back in your groove.
It is
So
indeed.
let's do this. So as we've said, if you're reading this, chances are that you have seen and felt your motivation for being an author wane through the years. You may be questioning whether you've chosen the right career, if you're even capable of earning enough money to support your life or family. And all of this can lead to overwhelm, exhaustion, and there it is, burnout. Our goal is to help you work through these thoughts and feelings, then come out on the other side ready and excited to grow. Lack of motivation can be caused by forcing yourself to do something that doesn't spark joy. Marie Kondo was onto something. We're designed to chase dopamine. Generally, we want to be happy. We are also wired to avoid pain and hide from what we fear. Our brains are programmed to keep us safe. Being an author doesn't always feel safe. We have to craft a story, a highly personal action, and then share it with the world. And the world is a scary place. Some people will love what you write, some people won't. You're not chocolate. You can't make everybody happy. All of this can drain your energy, kill your passion, and leave you utterly unmotivated. We've been there. Good news, we've got a solution for you. Bad news, it's going to take some work. But the best news is that you aren't alone and that we're going to do this together. And so you knew there had to be some pre work, right? All right. So we're going to basically go through the pre work and then we'll explain that from then on, it is 4 weeks of action. We've got planner pages in there. We've got like tips and everything for those 4 weeks. We're kind of treating Monday through Friday as like your work days with like weekends. There are planner pages for them, but a lot of the people use those as catch up times. I know I do. Do you use that as a catch up time as well?
The weekends
Mm-hmm.
I tend to do it more. I tend to work quite a bit on the weekend because I have my outside job during the week. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it's time to kind of focus and get some of the really tough jobs that I've been putting off done. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, so always catch up. But basically, what being an author, boils down to, so after we get, we'll do our 4 weeks, but the author career in general, we came up with this roadmap and I love it. Like I want to stick it in everything and everywhere now, right? So this is what you need for a sustainable author career. You basically need to get organized because, without being organized and having a plan, everything else is going to fall apart. And you need to get writing because obviously, if you're an author, books, right? You,
Definitely.
you need to get marketing because otherwise, you just have a really expensive hobby. Okay. And then finally, you need to get seen because the bigger your platform, the more people that you have to get in front of, the greater your income will be. So, um, so yeah, like turn it into a poster, hang it on your wall, turn it, like the gentle reminder, this is what, hi, you are here. This is what you're supposed to be doing. All right. So the basic stuff at the beginning is kind of going through. And this is like, ask yourself this question and get it out of the right way right now. Do you still want to be an author? And if so, like, what do you enjoy about being an author? And so the action plan over on the side, on the one side, you can like write out all the things that you enjoy about being an author. But the right side, it's, what do you not like about being an author? I can tell you things right now. Okay. The writing, I love the writing. I know very few people who are authors. Now, like there are authors and then there are marketers. Okay. There are people who like to publish books because they like to do the marketing. They love the numbers. They love, like all of that stuff. While I love the numbers, I really genuinely enjoy creating. So that. But
Love the too, rather than I'm not a marketer and I don't push myself out there and get seen out in the world. But I have, huge backlist and books that I'm writing now, and it is very difficult to motivate yourself to put it out there though as well.
yeah,
So there are definitely things that I don't like about being an author.
I'm a planner, so I love the plan. Like I love writing. I love the book. I like especially love I love the plotting and the planning of the book and everything. I like the writing of the book. By the time the book is done, I am finished. Okay, like I'm drained. I put my whole soul into it, right? And then putting it out into the world. I love the plan for it. The action parts. I don't like the action of it. Like, like I don't mind hitting publish, like, woo, I'm done. But then what I'm supposed to share it, and then I'm supposed to like
Yeah.
the content marketing. Yeah, no, that's the no.
It comes to my head. I use this analogy with quite a few people. It's like stripping down naked and running through Times Square and expecting people to just, oh my God, look, that's fantastic. Because you're really putting yourself out there. And it's like, there's that fear of, oh my God, people are going to see me and everything that I am in my book. Do you know what I mean? And I
Oh,
just find that's
yeah.
how I feel when I press the button, because it's like, I can
Yep.
just press it and like not tell anybody about it, but that's kind of pointless.
Right. Because like technically I did the thing. I did the thing. I published. I said I published. Okay. That's enough, right? No, it's not. So so like there's 16 steps to this. Some of them are going to be super easy. Some of them are going to be more challenging. My recommendation would be that you give yourself days. Give yourself lots of days to kind of work through this part, especially if there's a possibility that you could be in burnout because it's going to take you a little bit longer than most.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a visitor. All right. So like then so basically a lot of this is breaking everything down into steps, like little tiny steps of, so you've got the list of what you don't like about being an author, then pick, your top three, the ones that are the most problematic. And then let's figure out solutions for those because there is always a solution. All right. It's like, so some of these things you can stop. Some of these things are made up stories in our head that we need to do these things. Okay. So now we genuinely have to hit publish and we genuinely have to like share, but do we have to actually be doing all the sharing, or could we have a VA who does all the sharing and then it feels less icky? You know what I mean? Do like um do we have to publish every month, or could we spread it out a little further, like so that it's maybe less traumatic, we can heal from one, you know before we move on. And then like, so are there things that you can automate? Like we have learned, look at how many automations we have implemented. All right. And there's way more that we could be doing. And if we did that, how different would our lives look? Right. Do you know your goals, Christine?
Do I know my goals? Hmm. I have my three goals for the month written down somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, no, not written down.
Because I think this is
I,
one of the
I know how
things
many
that,
I know how many words I want to write each month.
yeah,
Um, that's about it, really.
I think that we have like, well, I have like a big, like I have a big overarching goal. My, the dream ultimately is to, create a life that will allow me to not feel like I'm working so that I enjoy, so much of what I do, right? Um, and so everything else is kind of like the plan for how to get there. And that is what we're trying to do with this. We're trying to get people to, take a look at your goals. And ultimately, we want to see that everything that they're doing. One of my coaches had a on her task list, like that she shared with us, this was one of her lead magnets, like making sure that people realize that do your tasks align with your goals and everything. And that was so, it was kind of life-changing for me. So I guess I kind of think that this is going to do a lot of the same thing, because people will look at it and go, ooh. So we're going to pick out the goals, and we're going to figure out why you want to achieve those goals. And sometimes the motivation isn't big enough to make you actually follow through and do it. So like figure out your why, figure out, like you think this is your why, but it's because why, so yeah, so like keeping the why in mind.
Definitely.
Now, what stops us from achieving goals a lot of times? Fear. You and I both talked about that. You just said the whole running through Times Square naked, right? That's the naked fear, the big fear, right? And so, some of the fears we have are logical and can be controlled, and some, just need reframing. So how can we reframe some of these? So, the I think that the hardest part for us is the whole accepting that not everybody is going to love, because when you're growing up, your circle's so small, and you're like, you go through school and everything that you put out there and you bring for show and tell, and everybody's supposed to be like, yay, that's great. This is like the giant show and tell. And not everybody's like, yay, great. And there are some people who are so miserable that they are only happy when they're making other people miserable. So yeah. Um, so we just have to figure out, like, how can we reframe these fears so that they're less, terrifying? All right. What's holding you back? A big list for those. And,
Yeah.
three things holding you back.
Like that could be financial and stuff like that as well.
Yeah. Like when you can't grow as fast as you want to because it costs money, like that's a thing. Um, so learning how to control our mindset. So list some changes you can make to feel better about your life, changes that you can make with your career. So one of those things, I know that when I started changing the time of day that I wrote, I felt better about things. It felt like if I left writing to be the last thing that I did in the day because of all the other things that I was, had to do, it either didn't get done or it didn't get done well.
Yeah, I agree.
So sometimes it's little changes that make a big difference.
Yeah.
All right, things we can control. Our to-do list. How do you feel when you look at and create your to-do list? So if you're not excited about it, like then we need to change our to-do list. And some of the things on there are things that we think you must do, when we have to remember, like, money generating activities.
And I think that, that's a really good point. When we've been doing this recently with our to-do list,
Mm-hmm.
is, you're highlighting if it's a money generating activity, and they should be the ones that you do first. Even though you think something else is more important and it needs to be done imminently, if something can make you money, then you really should be putting it as a priority as well.
Exactly.
And I don't think we do that enough.
No, we definitely don't. We definitely don't. Why? Because we like the creation part, and creating is easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For us, not for everybody. For some people, the creation is the hard part and they love putting it out. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's just wired differently. Um, all right. Here's another thing you can control: your expenses. I found this really fun. Okay. Not in a good way. Like, I felt icky, like, and I wanted to throw up, but um mostly. So, like, you can control your expenses mostly. And so when was the last time you looked at your expenses, and do you even know your numbers? So, like, I thought this was cool. Like, so you list your expenses. I did, when I did that, where I listed what I thought were my expenses. wait for it. And then I went to like my QuickBooks, and QuickBooks was like, girlfriend, have a seat because these are your actual expenses. And I was like, oh, okay. Ouch.
Yeah, no,
Shit.
I'm in the process of doing that at the moment, and it's kind of scary, really. And there's stuff coming out that I don't have on my list, and I'm like, hang on a minute, why is that not on my list? And it's something you might have signed up for a long time ago that you can completely forget about, or it's an annual subscription.
Right. An annual subscription that you forget about for a year, and then all of a sudden it comes out and you're like, holy hell. Like I did not see that coming. So we even created a spreadsheet for you. There's a link right here that you'll be able to click in the PDF so that you can go and you can figure out, and obviously it cut off because there's only so much space, but it's a list of, you list your expense, you take a look at the cost per month, you try to decide, and this is a drop down menu, whether to keep it or cancel it. And you do that by kind of like looking at alternatives. Are there alternatives? Like, you know, so I always give the example of Zapier. Like everybody looks at Zapier as the one thing that will, like the one like webhook thingy that'll like get everything to work, right? There are other alternatives. Zapier is the best known, but it is also the most expensive. It's like the Tiffany's of us of, like webhooks, okay? And so basically, I had to like go and look for alternatives. But then the happy part, because there's a happy ending to this. Like romance novels, there's a happy ending. And that's that when you find the alternatives, like so far this year, I'm saving $6,000 this year over last year on my expenses. All right, because I did this. All right. And my goal is to get even higher. Like, you know, so that. So I think ultimately it'll make you happy. And then, of course, once we get all these things out of the way, let's talk about routines because we need a routine. We need routines. I know, like, we think that being an author is like being all easy breezy, and it is, but so that you can like let creativity flow. But the reality is that a lot of authors, when they're so goal oriented, like I want to be an author full time, but then they don't do well with being an author full time because the routine of their day has not been established as an author. And so instead of, like having all that extra time to write, they've now filled all that extra time with other things that are not money generating activities or even author career building activities. So, we have to like create routines that are going to help you stay organized so you can write, publish, market, and grow. And do you have a routine for this? And so, like, list the tasks with estimated time spent on each for your typical day. And for those of you who really need like more, um, I'm going to move it. Shoot, where did it go? Okay, so this is the time tracker. I'll move it up higher. I think it should go up higher. So like you can actually see, because there's the like I did the example with the expenses, what I think I have versus what QuickBooks says I have. It's the same thing with your time tracker. Like if you use the time tracker, and I put in their numbers starting at like 6 a.m. because some people do that. Some people like watch the sunrise and get up in the morning, and then some people work until 10. Change the numbers however you want, realizing of course you're gonna have to like cancel, white it out, and whatever, but you can change it so that it reflects your day, to how you work. You and I know that we both work way later than 10. So anyway, but after you do this, take a look and then see, how much time, once you have all those numbers in there, how much time did you actually spend on your author business? How much time did you spend on like tasks aligned with your goals? And what changes can you make to improve your day? Because I found it really telling when I was like, I think that being an author is so demanding. And I was literally only spending about an hour and a half to 2 hours a day to hit my 3K a day goal. Okay. Maybe, like if I was dictating, way less. I could in an hour dictate, that. So what have you found? And then the rest is admin.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I changed my routine recently so that I do writing before I go to my day job, because if I was leaving it till later in the evening, then I wouldn't do it
Mm-mm.
because something else would crop up. I'd have an email or I'd have a message on Messenger about plots and all this kind of thing. And then my writing time was just slipping away, and I wanted it back. So I switch things around and I do my writing before I go to work. And that works for me, thankfully.
Exactly. Yeah. So I figured, um, but like, so we're working on routines. Build a routine that you can work with, build a routine that you love and that doesn't feel boring to you. Because I used to try my little reward system used to be pre-pandemic, kind of in school. I would get all my writing done, and then a lot of times I could set a lunch date, or I could make a
Yeah.
plan to get my nails done, or I could like get grocery shopping done, or go for a walk, or whatever the case may be. So I would reward myself. So we're going to talk about that for one thing. Self-care. Self-care does mean that like I took the walk, or I got the nails done, or whatever the case may be. And think about what kinds of self-care can you do that it's going to keep your vibe high. Because if you're not in the right mindset, you like, words come easier to me if I'm happy. Is that for you too? Like, is it easier if you're okay.
Yeah, I think if you have any kind of external stress, or like if you're writing romance, which a lot of us are, the last thing you want to do is write about a happy couple when you've had an argument with your spouse, or when your boss is annoying you, or your kids are running around screaming. It's very difficult to write sex scenes and things like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it totally makes, yeah, absolutely.
All right. Then do you still make time for growth? Because we don't want to stagnate, like we still have to like learn new things and try new things. And it doesn't even have to be like author related. Like, I think it's good to have hobbies, like, because I think a lot of times what happens is writing started out as the hobby, and then people start publishing, and then so writing becomes the job, and then they don't get a new hobby. But you need the hobbies, you need the happy. So, if that means that then you learn Photoshop, or, play on Canva and learn to make stickers and stuff, like, have fun, like, literally make sure that you still put time in your day and your life for fun. Using that a lot of times as a reward, like, okay, I got my words done. Now the growth activity that I want to learn, like the new hobby that I want to take up, is this, so I can do, what I mean? So I think that this could, definitely
Yeah, I think
help.
absolutely.
And so how do you spend your day? And this is where the it came in, where you definitely know when you're double checking and recording the events how you spend your day, and you're going to reflect on that after the day. So like the reflection after. And then like, do you have time when you look at that afterwards? Do you have time to accomplish everything that you want to accomplish? And are there things that you can quit, automate, or delegate? Now, um, some of the quit stuff for me was playing on social media to an extent. Okay. Um, I use I'm high input, high learner on my Clifton Strengths, and that means that I have to in order to have like ideas for writing, a lot of times I go on social media before I to get but I have to limit it, um the
Right.
but I TV, I quit TV.
Yeah, but sometimes you need,
Mm-hmm.
like, I actually had this conversation on yesterday. What day is it? Tuesday. Yesterday morning with my friend who I sprint with, and I said to her, I think, oh, sorry, I know that I don't have as much free time at the weekend as I think I have. Because when I go into my diary and I plan using the time blocking exercises, I have a lot of time to fill in. But actually, when I get up at the weekend and my husband's here and my kids are here, and then, we need to go and get this, and oh, this is cropped up, we need to deal with this. And then it's like 3 hours later, and I haven't started and done the three big tasks that I was supposed to do. And it all then piles up. And I think it's very difficult for me in particular, because I work during the week as well,
Yeah.
to say, okay, well, that means Saturday and Sunday I'm going to work on my business or my
Mm-hmm.
my writing. But I have a family too. So it is very difficult to kind of work that out. And sometimes you think you have more time than you actually do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or to realize that. The realization was like yesterday morning, it was like, okay, I need to stop trying to fill every single hour of the day at the
Yeah.
weekends, because I can't do that,
We need
you know?
downtime too. And so
Yeah.
that's the thing. So some of it is like eliminating some of these expectations that we have for ourselves, and adjusting expectations. So like, I know that I moved to doing admin stuff. Like, I would set up my social before I hired a social media manager, I did all of my tasks, like the social media stuff at night. And so I think, like I'd be sitting on the couch with the husband, he'd be watching TV, I'd be kind of watching, but mostly, putting other stuff together. And so, like, so when I say that I quit watching TV, I'm sitting in front of it. I'm just not really paying attention all the time. You know what I mean? And but he's happy because I'm there. You know what I mean? So um
Yeah.
now once everybody gets done with this part, so you do the pre-work, this is, kind of looking at 3 goals a month. Set 3 goals a month, and figure out what tasks are going to move those goals ahead. So, like, for example, if the goal is at the end of the month you have to publish a book, then you're going to put together tasks like, write 3,000 words a day, like get graphics, get social media, scheduled, figure out like your release strategy, like all those things that are going to be the tasks that you are doing, throughout the course of the month or whatever. So, this is very generic, so you can change it and start whenever. But I highly recommend when you're doing the weekly stuff. For me, weeks start on Monday, so that's why we organized it this way. And you'll just see that every day, you're going to kind of build the habit of like blocking out time, putting in the tasks that you need to accomplish, and then recording the important stuff, like how many words you wrote, how many sales you had, how many page reads you had, and if you had like a freebie offer, how many freebies, for the day. It's kind of nice to keep those recorded, and so that you can see trends, so that you can also track things like, what's working for me. If you notice that you're trying to write in the afternoon, for example, and you're not getting as many words, maybe it means you need to move the time. So this will give you some of the data you need to make the right decisions moving forward. And of course, each day ends with a tip. And so hopefully this will help you as you're working towards getting more motivated.
Yeah, definitely. I think when we create these things, we think we do delve a little bit deeper. The more we talk about the different things that we want, that we experience, that we then want to pass on to everybody else. So I think, the tips in particular are very helpful, but we have looked at the whole of what we're offering, what we're giving you, because it's the things that we need as well.
Mm-hmm. And we started out thinking this was going to be like a simple little, simple little workbook every single time. Simple little workbook. Right now, this beast is up to 84 pages. And I say right now because right before I got on, we hit the record button. We went, oh, we thought of one more thing that we wanted to add. So, yeah. So by the time that this is available, I don't know. I don't know how big it's going to be, but it's almost done. After I add those couple things. So anyway, use this, reach out if you have questions, let us know how this is working for you. And if there are things that you that worked really well, I'd love to hear it. If there are things that ideas that you have or something more that you need, let us know, because we're always happy to create what you need and help you to stay motivated, focused, and achieve your dreams.